We've watched a series on Netflix called The Stranger. Have you heard of it?
I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about it.
It's rubbish.
No.
It's like it's really high rated.
Right, it's one of them, yeah.
But it's sort of like...
It's a thriller. Is it a thriller?
Yeah, it is a bit of a thriller.
Yeah.
But it's really sort of pokey and small and typically British sort of thing.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
And it's not satisfying at all at the end. You're not like, oh, that was a good watch. Should have figured that out. None of that. It's just rubbish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It just ends.
Yeah, don't watch it.
It was The Butler. I've watched I can't remember where it's from now. Aries.
Zodiac?
From the Netherlands. Yes, it's Dutch. They're Dutch. And it's, secret society stuff. And people, I watched it because there was people saying they couldn't watch the end. They couldn't get to the end of it. It was so terrifying. Oh, my God. But it's really good, and it's definitely a horror. And there's sort of extreme gore, kind of. Right at the very start, there's like a bit. But then there's nothing. And then there's one thing, and then, so it's not stupid gore things. And it's a what's going on series. What is this all about? What do they mean? It would be exactly the kind of thing that you wouldn't want to watch once a week. It's perfect for Netflix.
You've got to binge it.
Yeah, like Picard. I can't pass any judgment on Picard because it's written as a binge watch. It's the kind of individual episodes, but it's always it's ended again. And there's no, it does have an ending. It's not like it's badly written, but it's
got to wait now.
Yeah,
can I
wait another week.
Can I maintain my interest?
Anything else, I would just wait until it was on, but not. I can't wait. No, and there'll be spoilers as well. So,
Well, I haven't actually watched anything past episode 1.
On last Thursday, I actually sat there at 11 o'clock refreshing Prime because it comes on at 11 o'clock at night. I assume
it's weird. It's
on HBO or whatever it is at 10 o'clock, or the time different. I don't know.
Oh, right.
So it's not midnight. It's 11 o'clock. It starts. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was on normal telly.
In America, it's on
normal telly.
It's on Prime. Yeah. Well, I assume that's why it's once a week. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense because it's not written like that. It's just infuriating. So if you can manage, there's only 5 weeks to go, I think, or something like that.
Well, when I come back from holiday.
Yeah, so actually, when you come back from holiday, you'll be able to wait like 1 week or something, and you'll be able to just sit and watch it properly. We've only seen 7 of 9 so far by episode 5. So
7 of 9, the Borg.
Yeah. Though you didn't already know that.
No. I knew the Borg were involved because at the end of episode 1.
Spoiler, sorry. So
I'm
you
sure
don't know who's
working...
in it.
No?
You don't know okay, I won't say anything there because obviously, well, it's obvious who's going to be in it, kind of, but it's which ones from which Star Trek people are going to be in it.
Don't tell me Worf's in it. He gets in all of them.
This is with honour. Worf's really funny. I like the Worf comedy. I think the Worf comedy is really funny, and that's the thing. The Klingons are almost the least realistic in that they would have never got into space. There's no way the Klingons would have got into space.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? How did they get into space?
They really look down on their scientists. It's the warriors.
Actually, wasn't the other series about the Klingons getting into space or something like that, or being in space?
Well, they started Discovery.
That was it.
Yeah, and the Discovery pilot. If you haven't watched Discovery, just don't watch the pilot. It's a waste of time. It's not like Star Trek. It's a prologue. It's not. It doesn't introduce anything. It introduces one character's backstory, and that's it. And the Klingons aren't Klingons. They're just sort of monsters. And there's lots of fighting and sort of sword battles and and then someone dying and all that kind of stuff.
So is that finished now?
No, there's season 3 coming out at some point.
Oh.
what everyone said, and I agree with really, is watch The Orville instead. And it's just recycled TNG episodes with people calling people arseholes and
I
he's a shithead.
I tried watching the Orville. I got pretty bored, to be honest.
I mean, it is just that, and people are complaining it's just that. But I think, well, yeah, what else do you need?
It's supposed to be funny. It's got
It's the same episodes again, but it's funny. It's not very funny, and the humour is often really crowbarred in. You can tell he just wants to make Star Trek, but he has to do the humour because it's his thing. And there's a couple of really funny bits, but it's Seth MacFarlane. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. It famously just writes gags, and there's no, Family Guy that has nothing. It's just gags, just a random list of jokes. So I think he's making a point with that of actually having proper stories and episodes and characters. So it's not just jokes. So the jokes are in there, but not all the time. It's not. It is a comedy, or a comedy drama, I suppose, is what you call it. But everyone says the best bit is with the leg, when he steals his leg, and it is. But it's not that all the time. I don't think any of it isn't recycled Star Trek episodes.
That's not a very good endorsement.
Well, for me, that's the ultimate endorsement. What would you want to think else? Not new episodes. There's the one where the Kling. Well, he's not a Klingon, but he is a Klingon. It turns out he only wheezes once a year, and it's a big event, and he has to go back to his home planet and wheeze off a mountain. That's quite good.
Yeah. Okay.
Picard. The line is drawn here. Number 1. Calm. Whenever people knock on the door anywhere, I'll say calm.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is a spoiler, but he does go tea, Earl Grey, decaf, which is great. He's supposed to be 96.
Is he?
Yeah, because obviously Patrick Stewart is 79 and really healthy for his age, obviously, because he's rich. So Picard has to be. He's playing him as an older than he is, but
that works in the future.
Yeah, but he needs to be really old because, Bones was in TNG and he was like 120. So obviously everyone has to live longer. So Picard needs to be mega, mega old for him to even be what he is now. What do you think it's about then, Picard? What's the secret? She's the chosen one. Something. Kung fu kick, and then she explodes.
It's the Borg, man. The Borg are trying to infiltrate the humans, trying to take them over by a bit like Battlestar Galactica, essentially.
It is Battlestar, isn't it? That's exactly what it is. Yeah. But with Romulans as well. Romulans and robots. Something.
The thing is, it's never going to be as good as Battlestar Galactica unless the ending actually works.
Well, I think it will. I hope what he says, because they've actually written it rather than just making up episodes as they go, which is this new idea of writing things rather than just
actually. But the problem is with streaming services, Amazon Prime, Netflix, people only watch the first series of something.
Yes, there's no incentive for them to make more series. They won't get more subscribers for more series unless it's massive things like Stranger Things. Some people might get rid of their subscription and come back, but only for the massive shows.
Yeah, so like Goliath, I think there's going to be one more series of that on Amazon. And that's actually very good. I mean, the second series was boring as hell, but so the third series was actually pretty good. But because it's another series, people aren't really watching it, so they're cancelling it. Which is a shame because it's actually really good.
I don't know if this is true. It might have been a dream that they have announced, because I don't think Captain Pike and Number 1 are going to be in Discovery now. I don't think they can be. I think they've got their own show. I think it's called Captain Pike's Enterprise or something like that. They're going to do his show, which on the one hand is like really treading on hallowed ground, but that's an opportunity to do Star Trek, as in do more original series stuff, but with Captain Pike.
I bet there'll be an episode on Tribbles.
Yeah, and Spock is there. Yeah, Spock is still with them. Yeah, of course it has to be, doesn't it? Yeah. So it'd be, Spock and Pike and number one.
Number one.
Number one. That's her name. She's the lady in the cage. You know, with the aliens with the do 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 do. That's the only. There's only 3 characters. The rest of them are just actors.
I don't think there was number one in original Star Trek.
Original Star Trek there is. Just the cat. There's 2 episodes, isn't there? Because there's the cage, and there's the one where he's remembering it with the beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's which.
So the cage one was the pilot, wasn't it?
Yeah, which was too obviously what Star Trek was going to be. So they had to do a bit of fist fights and stuff with. I'll tell you what, Pike is actually quite. The problem with Pike is that he doesn't play off Spock at all. They don't match because they're both the straight guy kind of thing. But William Shatner is brilliant. He's not a terrible actor, or at least wasn't a terrible actor. You know, and Kirk isn't that. He actually isn't the character in the recent movies. He became over the course of the movies became William Shatner. So by 6, it's just William Shatner. If William Shatner was the captain of the Enterprise, and it's ridiculous, but it's quite funny. You know, Zach Brannigan.
Who's Zach Brannigan?
From Futurama.
Oh yeah.
Champagan, who pronounces things wrong, which is apparently there's a real Kirk thing where he says the Klingons or whoever they have sabotaged our things, and then someone in the background corrects him and says it's sabotage, not sabotaged. And he says, "You say sabotaged, I say sabotaged." So I'm sure William Shatner obviously was a bit of a nutter, and people disliked him and all that stuff. But his TOS is so, only works because there's that sort of one eye winking at the camera. It's slightly tongue in cheek. Isn't this silly? And that if you couldn't have done TNG as the original Star Trek, no one would have ever. It's too straight, it's too dry, and
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Talking about Star Trek. With Kevin Sam.
What's your favourite Star Trek?
Series or episode or what?
Any? Motion picture.
Yeah, I like the motion picture. Everyone hates it, but I really like it. It's proper Star Trek.
It's proper Star Trek. Yeah, that's what Star Trek is. That film. Yeah. And it is. It goes really slow, and it is really creepily sexual as well, which is bizarre. If you ignore all that, it's awesome. It's really good, and it turns out to be Voyager 5 or something.
Vija.
Yeah. I am now entering the Vija orifice.
Yeah, I mean that's a great payoff. That is when you find out that it's Voyager. I mean that is proper Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
People hate it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because of the year, isn't it? It's just after Star Wars, and they didn't make it because of Star Wars. They were going to make the series after Star Wars when they thought, well, that's a movie. That's not Star Trek. But then Close Encounters came out, and they thought, actually, you can do a long, boring film and people will like it. But they didn't, so they had to make Wrath of Khan.
Khan!
Which is good as well, but that's movie Star Trek, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that became Kirk has a fist fight with God. What would God want with a starship?
Yeah, it gets a bit ridiculous, doesn't it?
Well, apparently that was a budget thing, and and again, it's not William Shatner's fault because he directed it. Leonard Nimoy directed the good ones, and then William Shatner directed that. But it was Paramount taking money off. Basically, they kept cutting the budget, and there was all sorts of plans about what was going to be on that planet where the God was, and they couldn't do it. So it was just Kirk. What does God want with the starship? And then they sort of run away as it explodes, and then it's like really far in the distance, exploding.
So did Leonard Star Trek 4, was that the one with the humpback whales?
Yeah, that's the space sausage comes to get the whales.
Yeah, was that good?
Yeah.
I watched it loads of times.
And I hate you, and I say screw you. That's a real song, apparently. It's a real, I don't know who it is. The Misfits or something.
Clear aluminum?
That's a Mac.
Hello, computer.
Yeah.
Oh, keyboard.
And he just goes.
Yeah, I mean that breaks the rules massively. He sort of like gives him the key to clear aluminium,
Yeah, transparent aluminum.
and and Scotty just says, "Well, how do we know he didn't invent it?"
Yeah, that's all right. Just change it. It's fine. It's time travel. It's just time travel. It's just you just don't think about it. Just enjoy the ride, like in Austin Powers. It's almost impossible to write time travel without it just not making sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So
She's a mechanism.
let's go through those. So motion pictures number 1, Wrath of Khan's number 2, Search for Spock's number 3, number 4 is The Humpback Whales.
Yeah.
Number
5 is The Fist Fight with God. Final Frontier.
Right.
The 6 is brilliant, Undiscovered Country, but it's much more of a comedy, and that's when Kirk is now William Shatner. He's just a sort of comedy character, but it's really good.
Undiscovered Country, is that the crossover?
No, Kirk goes to prison and with the Klingons because
On that ice planet or something.
yeah.
And there's the shapeshifter. What was that about? Oh, there's an assassination, was there?
Yeah, it was assassination, but then they blamed Kirk and Bones.
And DeForest Kelly was awesome as Bones.
Yeah, he was quite old in
Yeah.
6. He was like 80 or something.
Was he?
He was really good.
Perfect.
Yeah. For God's sakes, Jim.
God damn it, Jim.
She's a mechanism.
You green-blooded Vulcan. Yeah, Star Trek's interesting, isn't it?
Yes. We like Star Trek. And then TNG's like the purest Star Trek. That's the Star Trek-ish Star Trek. And then Deep Space Nine takes it apart. So that should be the best one. And then Voyager doesn't do anything. It just tries to make more Star Trek with some really
rubbish that was.
wobbly writing
Yeah, that was really
and
bad.
completely non-characters. Chakotay. His character is he's an American Indian.
He's got a tattoo.
That's it. He has no other character, and he only likes boxing. I think at one point he had a boxing episode.
It never was as good as what you thought it was.
Well, I mean, I thought TNG was going back to it was going to be a bit of a painful experience, but it wasn't. It is really good. And you
Even
think,
Wesley Crusher.
shut up, Wesley. Well, he's not really in it that much. You remember him always being in it every bloody episode, but he wasn't.
I mean, so bloody perfect with his little inventions and...
In the end, they had to write him out, and then that wasn't good enough, so they had to write him out of the universe. He went into another universe. Go away, Wesley. There was a message, a Usenet news group called outstartrek.wesleycrusher.die. Because the whole thing was flooded with like, I hate him.
Is Q involved in the Picard thing?
In the very first scene, when he's having a dream about playing cards with Data,
Yeah.
Data has 5 queens.
That was it, yeah.
So that might not mean anything. It's just a reference to Q.
Well, the Borg started with Q, didn't it? So...
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Q.
A Q collective.
Yeah, I mean the great thing about that is that Picard's just go away, Q. Just leave us alone. Just don't care. I can change your life, Jean-Luc. Piss off. Which isn't realistic at all, really, is it? He's like, can you do this?
Right, should we review some music?
Yeah.